Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kenshiki 2021. It's a great pleasure to have you here today with us, and I really appreciate you taking the time and the effort to get here in these challenging times. And it's also very great to see so many familiar faces. The other thing that I would like to highlight is with regard to the embargo. So everything that we will share with you today, through discussions, through plenary, through deep dives and so forth, is under embargo until Thursday of this week, Thursday the 2nd of December at 3 o'clock Central European time. Your cooperation and your understanding of this would be very much appreciated. Thank you. With that, let's get underway, and I'd like to welcome on stage President and CEO of Toyota Motor Europe, Mr. Matt Harrison. Matt.
Thank you, Robert. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very great pleasure for me to welcome you all to our third Kenshiki Forum. Thank you for the feedback that you've provided on our previous events. We're transforming our business and ourselves at speed and would like to continue to update you on a regular basis as the automotive sector faces a period of profound change. Our first two Kenshiki events were, of course, led by my predecessor as President and CEO, Dr. Johan van Zyl. Many of you previously met Johan and will have been deeply saddened, as I was, to learn of his passing in the summer, several months after retiring and returning to his beloved home, South Africa. He was an inspirational leader and a wonderful human being, and I consider it a great honor to follow him in leading TME and to take up his mandate at this event. When I was appointed as President and CEO of Toyota in Europe last April, after Johan retired, President Toyota gave me some important personal advice. He told me that to maintain our competitiveness in this once-in-a-century period of transformation, we needed to become more innovative and agile, and to focus on the important role that Europe would play in leading our global carbon neutrality ambition. Responding to this advice, one of my first actions in my new role was to identify areas where I felt we needed to significantly increase our transformation speed, and I prioritized 8 of them. 1, to develop a comprehensive 2030 mobility for all strategy and accelerate our transformation from an automotive company to a mobility company, ensuring that no one is left behind. 2, to lead our Beyond Zero commitment and advance our carbon neutral journey, benefiting from Europe's readiness to support sustainable transport. 3, to become a global benchmark for Toyota in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusivity, reflecting the diversity and expectations of European society. 4, to accelerate our local electrification plan. 5, to achieve a breakthrough in our manufacturing cost competitiveness as we prepare our manufacturing footprint for that electrified future. 6, to continue developing our long-term alliance strategies in Europe as the challenges we are facing require collaboration at an unprecedented level. 7, to maintain our hydrogen leadership, continuing our active role in promoting and helping to build a hydrogen society. This has an important part to play in our journey to carbon neutrality. And finally, 8, to ensure that Toyota becomes a top digital company in Europe. As we have limited time today, we plan to focus on 3 of these priorities: our leadership and active role in building a hydrogen society, the acceleration of our electrification plan, and our commitment to achieving carbon neutrality. Now, on this last point, let me say a few words about Toyota's position regarding the 2040 commitment that was proposed during COP26. Ever since Toyota was established as a car company, our focus has been on providing affordable and efficient transport solutions for all. And that philosophy has led to Toyota successfully manufacturing and selling vehicles across the world. Looking at the global challenge, however, we know that there are many regions and countries where the infrastructures and access to clean energy solutions will take longer than 2040 to put in place. This is why we believe it's important to retain the option of providing a range of efficient powertrain solutions to all customers as they progress on their individual journeys to carbon neutrality. But of course, at the same time, we're working hard to ensure that we'll be able to provide our customers with an increasing number of practical and affordable zero-emission vehicles. We've previously explained that by 2025, we expect our zero-emission vehicle mix here in Europe to be at least 10% of our sales volume, with hybrid and plug-in hybrid sales accounting for 80%. By 2030, taking into account the EU's Fit for 55 CO2 reduction plan, we anticipate our zero-emission vehicle mix will have increased to at least 50%. To be frank with you, nobody really knows exactly what the speed of change to zero-emission vehicles will be. And this 50% figure is largely based on regulatory requirements and our evaluation of the wide range of zero-emission vehicles that we expect to be available. However, if infrastructure development allows and consumer demand is there, we will be ready to flex to a higher mix. Moving beyond 2030, we expect to see further zero-emission vehicle demand acceleration, and Toyota will be ready to achieve 100% CO2 reduction in all new vehicles by 2035 in Western Europe, assuming that sufficient electric charging and hydrogen refueling infrastructures are in place by then, together with the renewable energy capacity increases that will be required. Let me highlight again that this is a Western European projection. Naturally, in some markets like Norway, for instance, where infrastructures are already well developed or being installed, we expect to be selling 100% zero-emission vehicles much earlier than 2035. But in other markets, where charging infrastructure and hydrogen networks will take a bit more time to be installed, we'll continue to help customers minimize carbon emissions by offering a full range of electrification technologies across our lineup. In a few moments, you'll hear from Gerald Kilman, Vice President of R&D here at Toyota Motor Europe, how we're continuing to develop a variety of technologies to benefit all customers. And after Gerald, you'll hear from Gil Pratt, Chief Scientist for Toyota, about how all these technologies will work in harmony to minimize carbon emissions on our journey towards full carbon neutrality. But before that, let me share with you our expectations of where we will finish at the end of 2021. We expect our full-year sales, Toyota and Lexus combined, to reach 1,070,000 vehicles, an increase of 80,000 sales compared to 2020. We anticipate this to result in a market share of 6.3% for the combined passenger car and light commercial vehicle markets, which will be a new record for us. And for the first time, Toyota will be the #2 passenger car brand in Europe, with Yaris, Corolla, and Aygo all achieving top 3 positions in their segments. Looking back, just a couple of years ago, Toyota was doing well, but didn't regularly feature in the top 5 in Europe. So what's changed? Well, most importantly, our product power has increased significantly. The majority of our vehicles are now underpinned by TNGA platforms, meaning that we're offering vehicles that not only look great, but also deliver excellent driving performance. And as confirmed by our ever-increasing electrified sales mix, which will reach 70% in Western Europe this year, our hybrid powertrains continue to attract new customers to both brands, especially those that are looking for practical and accessible ways to reduce their carbon footprint. In addition to our product power, I'm also very pleased with the way that the Toyota brand image has continued to strengthen, and the trust and confidence that consumers have shown in us. This indicates that the brand platforms that we put in place, Toyota Gazoo racing strategy, our mobility partnership with the Olympics and Paralympics, and our Beyond Zero communications are bringing our values to life. And lastly, I give credit to the team. I'm extremely proud of the way that we have navigated this challenging year as one Toyota team, demonstrating our manufacturing and supply chain flexibility and agility, but also our retail and sales capability to ensure a great experience for our customers. Toyota has not been immune to the impact of chip shortages, although I believe our approach to supply chain risk management has allowed us to weather the storm better than most. But please don't be misled into thinking that our increasing success is down to our ability to supply vehicles when others could not. Today, our order bank is at a record level, and our forward order cover extends beyond 4 months. If I look at the annualized pace of our customer contract intake, we're running at a demand level of around 1.3 million sales. Perhaps then, it won't surprise you when I confirm that in 2022, we expect to take another big step forward for sales in Europe. Our strong demand momentum gives us confidence that we will increase sales to 1.3 million vehicles next year, and we expect that to result in a market share of at least 6.5%. That's an increase of 230,000 sales in 1 year, and by far the largest advance in our history. This will be achieved through the strong demand we have for our existing models and significant new model introductions as our vehicle and powertrain portfolio continues to grow. Launched a few months ago, the new Yaris Cross will enjoy its first full year of sales in 2022, contributing significant incremental volume. With great design, low CO2 emissions from its 4th generation hybrid powertrain, and a segment unique all-wheel drive system, this car has been extremely well received by our customers. And as with Yaris hatchback, it's proving quite a challenge for us to keep supply in line with demand. After a successful world premiere just a few weeks ago, we'll also introduce the new Aygo Cross early next year. This new model will build on the strong equity already established by Aygo and will provide an exciting new entry point to the Toyota brand. Accessibility has always been at the core of the Aygo offer, and of course the new Aygo Cross will retain this with a monthly payment that's similar to the current model. At the same time, it significantly increases Aygo's emotional value with a design that was created and developed here in Europe. It will also bring customers the latest in safety and connected technologies, plus, of course, Toyota's legendary quality, durability, and reliability. Aygo Cross will be a very strong addition to our model lineup in 2022. Together with the European Car of the Year, Yaris, and the newly launched Yaris Cross, these 3 models will deliver 500,000 sales combined. All built on the GAB platform, these vehicles will generate a large part of our growth in the short term and transform our appeal and competitiveness in the small car segments in the coming years. Now, the second new model I want to talk about today is the bZ4X, our latest milestone on our journey to zero emissions and beyond. It's the first model in a global series of at least 7 bZ vehicles. And without going into detail today, let me confirm that the rollout of bZ products will be rapid, and you will not have to wait long before we preview smaller models that are specifically designed for Europe. bZ stands for Beyond Zero, and it signifies Toyota's ambition to not only focus on achieving zero emissions, but also to look beyond in terms of other positive impacts on society, such as safety, well-being, diversity, and happiness. You saw the concept version of bZ4X earlier this year in Shanghai, but today I'd like to introduce you to the production model. We're delighted that on its journey from concept to production, the bZ4X has lost none of its dynamic lines and attractive surfaces. Full battery electric is a key element of our holistic approach to carbon neutrality, and the bZ4X comes the 5th battery electric vehicle in Toyota's European lineup. It is, however, the first to be based on our all-new eTNGA architecture. There's huge anticipation for the arrival of this car, and having driven it, I can assure you that our customers will be more than delighted with the way it performs. As you know, RAV4 is a relatively capable off-road performer, but I would say that the bZ4X outperforms it and is even heading towards Land Cruiser territory. It's that good. If you've ever thought that a pure electric car could never be a capable off-road SUV, driving the bZ4X will make you think again. Perhaps that's no surprise from a vehicle which embodies all of the SUV heritage and know-how of Toyota and Subaru combined. Of course, not all our customers will use this level of off-road capability, but they like to know it's there if it's ever needed. We'll tell you more about this in today's deep dive session and explain a number of the other advanced new technologies we're introducing with the bZ4X. As customers contemplate committing to a completely new propulsion technology, it's important that we provide them with full reassurance that they are making the right decision. Consumer concerns around range and battery durability of BEVs are well documented and understood. This is a key area where I believe our extensive heritage and experience gives us a significant advantage. No one in our industry has more experience or expertise in electrification than Toyota. And no one in our industry enjoys the same level of customer trust and loyalty to electrified products as we do. For over 25 years, we've led the way in electrification, and we've continued to develop and refine our technologies, enhancing them with what we've learned from literally billions of kilometers of real-life driving. We've drawn on all of this experience to ensure the bZ4X is the most efficient and durable product available. In fact, such is our confidence in the bZ4X that I'm able to announce to you today that we will back it with a warranty that's extendable up to 1 million kilometers. The technologies and battery quality of the bZ4X are world-leading. But we're not resting on our laurels. We're working hard to maintain our leadership in sustainable motoring, not just in electrified powertrains, but across a whole portfolio of technologies that will enable us to reach our goal of carbon neutrality, whilst also continuing to bring relevant and accessible products within reach of the widest possible audience. To tell you more about these efforts, please welcome Gerald Kilman.